Hey there, it's time for Bitcoin update again. Of course, we have to start with the disclaimer that this is for education and research purpose only and not financial advice. Always consult the licensed professional in your jurisdiction. So let's first take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart. Last time we talked about the yellow support line that Bitcoin price has broken through. So this week is basically trying to stay, well, not trying to stay, it tries to break above the line, but it stayed below. That's what I wanted to say. So we can argue that maybe it's trying to set a horizontal trading zone right now. So if I move the line like this, you'll see this is basically like the top of this bunch of candles and then the bottom of a lot more candles over here. So this is a support line that the players are trying to defend, and we can also draw a box here if there's a short-term playground zone. This is where I would say is staying at, because if we look at the heads of all these candlesticks, there are more than 10 of them. They're all stopping at around the 100,000 mark. You see, let me use a cross. It's easy to see. If we extend to the far right, you see that's the price level. I would say it's more like a psychological barrier, that 100,000 mark. And then that's why whenever it touches that point, there's probably some significant selling pressure over there. And in terms of the volume bars, we see these red ones are generally higher than the green one. So the sell side pressure is higher than the buy side. So assuming that it will stay within this zone between 91,000 to 100,000, then it's where the short-term playground zone is. And if you ask when we're going to break out or break through and drop below this zone, let's take a look at the weekly timeline. So weekly, the blue tags, I mentioned that's the scenario one, the one that I incline to believe we are at. The yellow tags are scenario 2, that I think it can happen that way, but I don't think it is. So time will tell whether that's true. So let's go back to scenario 1. Right now it's after the upthrust, and basically we're trying to stay at that level above 90,000. So here is a key support level, 90,000, and other psychological barrier. If it stays above for a longer while, there may be a chance a horizontal trading zone being established. But if not, if it really follows the Wyckoff distribution cycle and we are indeed after the upthrust. Remember last time I talked about how long it took from the upthrust to when we return to this long-term playground zone. So you see, if you have looked at the other sessions I talked about, Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple, their long-term playground zone is less going, the slope basically is flatter than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has its unique nature, or people see it so differently, uniquely, that all attention is going to here. May the reason be counter-inflation or national strategic reserve or companies reserve, whatever that reason is. You can tell from this long-term playground zone how the slope goes. It's different from the other, I would say, more utility-based cryptocurrencies. also because not all cryptocurrencies are like Bitcoin with limited supply, so that's also another significant reason. So let's go back to the price. I'll say if it really behaves the same as last time, the last distribution cycle in 2021. Right now we see a long candle, and then a short one this week, similar last time. If next week is also a long candle, this time the difference is this upthrust is way crazier than the last time. Last time, if we look at the buying climax, it wasn't so high in terms of percentage. So here it was around 60,000, and then it's roughly 10% higher than the buying climax last time. But this time, if we look at what we have here, it was at around 70,000, and right now, if we look at it, it's 50% higher. You can say it's reasonable if you also understand the Fibonacci levels. 50%, it's one of the key levels over there. But when it comes down, what I'm trying to get to is last time, if we look at here, it returns back to, let's say here, right after the buying climax, there was a support level somehow. That's how it behaved last time. So it paused here before it comes down to where the automatic response was, and then finally going back to the long-term playground sum. That's how it happened last time. So if it happens the same this time, what we see here, if it comes back from this level, it will go all the way down to, I'll say, give it a little bit of breathing room. Here is the top of the buying climax. It's around 71,000, and then the next level would be somewhere around the automatic response. I would say this is supposed to be another level, but it won't stay long there. I believe there are a couple of candle heads and tails over there. That's 65, another psychological number, but the automatic response, you can see a whole lot of candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 10 candles at this level, either starting or ending. That's the 60,000 mark. So another key psychological number. Always the numbers that's at the 10,000s, that like the one we talked about, 100,000, and then 90,000, all the way down to 70 and 60. These are the key psychological levels that people would defend or give up. Basically, their take profit or stop loss level. So it will be a big drop around 30 to 40,000 from that level to where we talked about just now. Well, again, Fibonacci retracement level, 30% to where we are now, or at the 100,000 level, it's around 70, somewhere mid 60 to 70,000 level. So it kind of makes sense. And let's take a look at the timeline again. Last time at the first top to returning to the zone was 210 days, and this time the top of the upthrust to the 210 days is somewhere around July next year. So whether it takes that long or it's going to take faster or slower, all depends on the market sentiment. As I said earlier, this time the upthrust is way more crazier than the last round, so it can be a more drastic drop as well, the way it develops, and that could cause a lot of selling, probably, if there are a lot of stop loss being set around this level. So we'll have to see. No matter how many people are buying or selling, always do whatever you need to do to protect yourself. So before we finish, again, I mentioned in the earlier sessions, I'll move these live sessions to the weekend, basically Saturday my time. So it's going to be around late night or even early morning Asia time, nighttime Europe, and afternoon or evening Americas. Thanks for watching. See you in